Hi students, thank you for joining us. I know it's I don't know about you, but my side is pouring. It's so nice to have a nap. I'm so tempted, but thank you, for joining us as we share with you a little bit more on the tips and tricks, right? Okay. I hope that all of you managed to, do decently well for your oral. You managed to get your Oreo in order, right? And after that, of course, I hope you managed to have an Oreo to reward yourselves. Okay, that being said, let me carry on with my tips and tricks for today. Okay. All right, let me just open up the chat. If you have any questions, students, please feel free to just drop a chat with me. Okay, I'll try to read it, but like I told you before, it's a bit challenging when I'm delivering a lesson. If you really need to contact me, just drop me a text. Okay, let me just open up the chat. Oh yes, thank you so much, Katie. You shared me. Yes, it's about the neighbors one. I forgot about it. I hope that your oral for the first day was good. Okay, that being said, let's carry on with today's lesson. All right. Let me find my pen. Okay, so as we all know, this week is a very tung week for all of us, right? Okay. Many of you will be starting your English prelims on Monday. Okay, that being said, I am not going to go through any questions with you. I'm just going to go through some tips, revise with you what the steps you should take. Okay, when you see the question, of course, you are at full liberty to decide whether or not you want to follow, right? But this is the way I think that many of you would prefer, because it will definitely help you. Okay, let's do away with the rules for today. Your web cameras can be turned on, but microphones please still be muted. Okay, now let me just go through with you what we will be revising through, right? Basically, we are all familiar with our paper 1 and 2. Right, paper 1, basically we have our composition and situational writing. Okay, we'll go through some tips, okay, and of course time management is advice that I would have for you. Okay, for paper 2, we have our grammar close, editing and comprehension close, okay, synthesis and transformation and comprehension open-ended. Same thing, I'll go through with you a brief as well as some time management tips. All right, students, so that being said, your situational writing and your composition, okay, we are allocated 1 hour, 10 minutes, which is actually 70 minutes in total, right? Because 1 hour from your 60 minutes plus your 10 minutes, we will get 70 minutes. Now, how do I recommend for you to divide your time? Okay, remember you are given both papers at one shot. I'm sure you're familiar with this, right? You're given both papers at one shot. That being said, how do we divide the time? Sort of not equally, but between the two different sections, okay? Situational writings at best, students, okay? 20 minutes, right? Remember, this does not include your checking time. If you want to include your checking time, it'll be about 25 minutes. Which means if this is 25 minutes, your story, your composition, you will have to take 45 minutes, obviously, right? It's not you have 25 minutes and then here you still have 50 minutes. Then you will have an excess of time, right? As in you'll be short of your 5 minutes, okay? So the moment you add time to your situational writing, remember you have to take away time from your composition. But I strongly recommend you maximum for sit writing 25 minutes and maximum for your composition 50 minutes. So you allocate your time wisely. Right, always remember to read through the questions first, okay? Read through the visual. Okay, see what they want. Of course, you look at the bullet points as well. Do not forget the bullet points, right? Okay, and try to match the bullet points to the visual that you've been given. Okay, most of the time, the answers are there very obviously. It's about how you string the language together. Okay, remember students, for your sit writing, right, language is out of 9 marks, content is out of 5 marks. I cannot emphasize this enough, right? So in order for us to give you marks for language, you have to make sure you engage make sure you engage the reader. Okay, have a little bit more conversation, be very involved in the piece of writing that you are doing. Okay, for composition, we all know that content is out of 20 marks, language is also out of 20 marks, right? The total will be out of 40 marks. Okay, when you see your composition question, right, always remember to look at the topic first. Okay, this is for your compo. Okay, look at your topic first. All right, figure out which of the 3 pictures you are going to use. Are you going to use 1, 2, or 3 pictures. Remember, I always strongly encourage you to use 2 pictures. Why? 3 may be too confusing. 1 may be too few for you to construct a storyline, right? That being said, 2 would be the optimal. It will be the best, right? Simply because then at least you have enough content to sort of write your story. Okay, when you have 2 pictures joining and linking with each other, it's a little bit easier to construct your content. All right, students, I'm sure that is a little bit obvious at this point of time, right? Okay, that being said, 15 minutes, how do we allocate the 15 minutes? Let me just share with you, okay? Assuming we spend 15 minutes on our composition, we have our introduction, right? We have our rising action, we have our climax, okay? We have our falling action, and we have our conclusion. Okay, so how do we divide our time, students? Okay, introduction and conclusion, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, total we spend about 50 minutes. Okay, so 50 minus 10, we're left with 40, right? Okay, over here we have 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So all together here we have 40 minutes, right? What do we do with the balance 10 minutes, students? Okay, 5 minutes for your planning. Do not forget to plan, right? I've always taught you to have a plan in mind. Why is this so? You don't want to write and then find that at the end of the day, oh no, I forgot what I'm supposed to write for my climax. Then how? Go back. That's it. And Chloe's expression very unique. She literally went, ah. Okay, so that being said, students, remember that you have to spend at least 5 minutes planning. And of course, you have to spend at least 5 minutes checking. Okay, don't forget that you have to check. Many of you end up with subject-verb agreement mistakes, punctuation mistakes, spelling mistakes, simply because you are careless and you didn't check the answers, right? Which is not supposed to be the case. You have to check your essay. Okay, not only your composition, but your situational writing as well. Okay, students, remember this is very important. I cannot emphasize this enough because at the end of the day, you don't check, you lose the marks. Okay, unnecessary marks which will contribute to your language. Okay, that being said, all of you okay with me so far? Don't worry, don't have to copy this messy page down. Okay, I will upload this PDF, okay, just to get a rough view and give you a rough overview of what to include for your, how to actually go about doing your paper. All right, that being said, let's go on to our paper 2. Okay, this is basically just a tips and tricks session, right? I told you that my lesson wouldn't take more than about 30 minutes or so. I just want to briefly go through with you, right, how you can go about doing the paper. That's it. Okay, it's a bit too late for me to go into detail, into any practice, right? Look at your mock paper, look at my explanation for all the recorded lessons. Okay, if you need any help, just drop me a text. Okay, so for your paper 2, right, these are the different sections. Okay, for your booklet A, okay, you have your grammar MCQ, vocab MCQ, vocab close MCQ, you know, replace the words, right? Okay, as well as your visual text. Okay, that being said, I've given you an allocation of some time because your total time duration allowed is 1 hour 50 minutes. It's actually 110 minutes, right? If we convert all to minutes, it's 110 minutes. Okay, that being said, okay, we have 8 plus 7 is 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes and 10 minutes, you have 25 minutes in total. 25 minutes plus 10 minutes, you have 35 minutes, okay? So this is the, oopsie, sorry. This is the total number of minutes that you can afford. Let me just double check to make sure I'm counting correctly. 15, 25, 35, that's right. So for this will be 35 minutes spent on your booklet A. This is as best, students, including your checking. Okay, so this is already, you have added in your checking time, right? Okay, that being said, okay, if you have got any questions, can you please just drop me a chat? Okay, I cannot address you right now because I'm going through this. Let me address it during the Q&A session during the chat. Okay, so drop me a text via the chat box. Okay, students? Now, this is basically what we need to focus on in terms of your time management, okay? In particular, I would like to go through for your visual text. Okay, your visual text, basically what's going to happen, you'll be given your visual, right, of course, okay? And you'll be given your sets of questions, okay? Read through the questions first. I always tell you to read through the questions, right? Get a feel of what the visual will be about. Look at the visual and the details required by the question. Okay, then match the details required with what the question is asking for. So for example, we have this, right? This is taken from your mock 1. Okay, over here we have our visual, okay, and then we will have the questions. So first we look through, first we look through the questions, okay, we sort of get a feel of what it's like. According to the poster, tickets can be purchased, right? Which one of the following statements is true? So we know that this is roughly what, a poster that is going to be talking about tickets, you know, or something fun, something, you know, recreational. Right, then we go back and we try to match what the question demands of us, okay, and we look at the visual for information. Okay, don't worry, don't yawn already, I'm finishing already, I'm going through my tips, then we can have Q&A. Okay, students, a very, very, very quick one, all right? Now, for your grammar close, okay, for your, basically for your booklet B, okay, if we have in total 110 minutes, right, okay, minus away your 35 minutes, from booklet A, right? How much are we left with, students? 110 minus 35, 75 minutes. Okay, for your booklet B. Okay, that being said, 10 minutes for grammar close, 10 minutes for editing, 15 minutes for complete close, so that's 10, 20, 35, right? And then here will be 45. So over here we have 45 minutes already, not including the comprehension. Comprehension, I always say give yourselves 30 minutes. So when you add up, it becomes 75 minutes. Okay, very simple kind of time allocation, nothing more than 10 minutes. So basically think about it, it's one question, 1 mark, 1 minute, that's it, or less than that if possible. Okay, but of course, that being said, this factors in your checking time as well. Okay, don't forget to check your work. Okay, it's very important to check so that you don't make any careless mistake. All of you, sometimes you want to write K for a certain alphabet for your grammar close, you end up writing P. Then you're like, huh? How come my answer is P? You know, that kind of thing. Very common mistake. That is careless, students. Don't even try to say, oh, you know, I don't know what I was writing. I was sleeping. Yeah, okay, you were sleeping because you were careless. So stop. Okay, so that being said, students, please check your work. Okay, I cannot emphasize this enough. Okay, your editing, remember 10 minutes. Compre close, 15 minutes. Okay, your synthesis and transformation, another 10 minutes, right? Okay, remember each question for this one is 2 marks. Okay, so it's very important you get your 10 minutes sorted out. Okay, and remember at the end of the day, your open-ended comprehension for 30 minutes.